Welcome back to Goshong Taiwan and welcome back to the channel. My name is Ian and this is another Ricoh GR3 preset video. This one is called the Night Owl and I know many of you have been asking for another preset, so here is one for you guys. So this one focuses on shooting in lower light conditions at night. So without further ado, let's get started. It's just you, me and the GR3. You may be surprised to hear that this preset actually uses manual mode. Manual mode along with auto ISO. And the reason I want manual mode is that I want to be able to adjust the shutter speed and the aperture independently at any time. Now, that might sound a bit scary, but it's not really. Typically, when you shoot, you want to have the shutter speed, I think, around 250th or 300th of a second, somewhere in that range. So I set my shutter speed typically to 250th. And then I don't want the aperture to be completely wide open on 2.8, so I set it to f4. That gives the focus a bit more latitude, because the focus actually, it's auto-focus with face detect on for this particular kind of a shoot. And let me show you what happens. So I come here and I'll just focus like that and bang. There's not too much more to it than that really. Obviously we couldn't see his face then because of the fact that he was wearing a cap and a mask. But yeah, so this one, it's autofocus. It's a very good preset, you know, it's nice. Hello. Straight away there, it's got straight onto her face, you see that? And bang. I think the GR3's face detection is very underrated, you know. It's much better than you think it is. And the face detect is good anyway, I find. So I'll walk around and just look for anything that catches my eye, really. You have some combs here, look. I have no hair, it's okay, I'm just looking. What can? So literally this one, I can drop the shutter speed down using the front dial. So I don't need it to be 125th. 250th, so I can change the shutter speed on the fly. And you know what? Something's going strange in my GR3 here. I was moving the front dial and it was not particularly responding well. I might have to give that a bit of a clean maybe. Anyway, I'll leave it on 1/200 for now. There we go. I'm shooting in RAW. So in RAW, you know, it's I can choose later if I wanted in black and white or not. Some interesting food there. And a warning, don't drink alcohol. Don't drink alcohol. There you go. We still have the option to tap and focus. So for example, this cat, if I tap there on the screen, you can't see it, can you? And I can't hold my phone and that at the same time. If I tap on the cat, the focus will go straight to the cat. It looks cool. There you go. Sometimes it's quite a high dynamic range because of the fact that it's light and dark, you know, with the lights the stalls have are quite bright, and sometimes the vendors, they're behind in the dark, so it's not so easy to get the right exposure. Please order here. Get some detail shots of some of these things. For here I can drop the aperture down to 2.8, focus on something close, and then get a shot like that. I'm using a slightly different technique today. I've actually got the video camera in my left hand and the GR3 in the right. In the last video I actually put a wrist strap on this thing, but do you know what? It's way too cumbersome. The wrist strap was cumbersome, and sometimes if I turned it to vertical mode like this, the wrist strap, if I didn't have it on my wrist, would dangle straight over the lens, you know. And that's obviously not something you want to have happen. I might have some of those in a minute. That looks good. That looks very good. I think I'll have that for my dinner tonight. So at these night markets, you can obviously you can see it's pretty busy. This is the tourist night market, not one of the local ones, but we have a pretty good choice of food, and so you get your food from wherever, and then you come and sit and eat it on these tables. You know, I'll finish shooting and I'll come back and have some ribs. That is my plan. Quite like that shot there. I really like auto ISO. You know, it allows you to set the camera up how you want it, and then just afterwards it'll adjust to it. That looks pretty good as well. This is tea of all things. Milk tea. Tiger milk tea. Tiger milk tea. Squid. Roasted squid. Like a sandwich press, only for squid.
오늘 제일 괜찮았던 사람이 그 약간 지하에
Well, that looks good here as well. Look at that. Vertical shot there as well. Recently, I've been shooting with the Leica and decided that I don't want to neglect the GR3 entirely, and I'm actually really enjoying shooting with it now. There's a lot of cool stuff with it, you know. These are eggs. Look at the eggs. So that's set at 200th of a second, f4. You know, it seems to be handling it really nicely. That was 1600 ISO, which I think is, that's a walk in the park for the GR3. I've seen a few posts recently about the GR4, but I still don't know either how much it's going to be, and I don't know exactly when it's going to be released. Am I going to get one? Well, that depends really. That depends on whether I've got any money at the time, because at the moment I don't have. I don't have. And I don't think Ricoh are going to send me a test model anytime soon. So people come and they sit here and they eat their stuff together, which is really nice. I say, so you find the scene, and most often than not, the GR3, if there's a face somewhere, it will find it, and that's nice, really nice. You can just walk around and shoot pretty freely. Obviously, you have to be aware of lights. If the light is really high, really bright, or really dark, you might have to adjust one of the two settings, either slow the shutter speed down or increase it, or do the same with the aperture, But generally speaking, yeah, it's pretty good. The front of this whole place. There's an example of shooting something that is a little bit different. So for this one, I don't need 200 ISO. I'll probably get away with like 60. And I don't need f4. I can open it up a bit. I'm probably going to 2.8 actually. The focus is on the building. And I want to get that sign, all that sign there on the right. And that's it. Of course, you need to put the settings back afterwards to what you think. So I'm back to f4, and let's try 200. f4 and 200. I don't exactly know what these things are, but they look like little beards. See them? Ni hao.
你好，你好。
Looks like a beard. Yeah. This one's very dark. Drop the shutter speed down again. Low. Keep watching to see the settings. I'll put the settings now. The first step in this preset is to set the mode wheel to manual, so that the camera is going to take manual settings for the preset. Then go into the menu and go to focus, and the first one at the top there, focus, and I like to have auto area AF, auto area AF, and the center. Okay, and then go back out, go down to face and eye detection, and I like to use just only in auto area AF, and I find it works pretty good like this. The AF assist light I don't have on because I don't want to draw attention. Snap focus I leave at 1.5 meters. Full press snap is on. Then go down to the exposure mode. Obviously check here, it should be on M for manual. The A metering I use multi-segment. ISO setting is auto, and the auto settings are as follows here. So I have the upper limit 12,800, lower limit 100, and 1/125th of a second for the minimum shutter speed. Obviously you can overwrite that later on, you know, if need be. The flash mode I just leave it on. ND filter auto. Yeah, I don't really worry about too much of the other stuff here, to be honest. It's a fairly simple preset. Let's keep going down the list till we get to the drive mode. Drive mode I like to have on continuous. Yeah, keep going down. File format is RAW. Aspect ratio stays at 3:2, no crop. Color space I like Adobe. And the image control black and white high, but obviously that's a personal preference. If you like to see your preview in color, you can change that to whatever you want. This is just purely for the preview. Or if you want to make JPEGs, if you have a JPEG setting on, then it would take effect. Other than that, there's not much more to it. The shake reduction on. And yeah, one little tip I will give you, and that is coming back out. This is like a bonus thing, really. It doesn't have much to do with the preset. If you go down to the customize settings, and you'll notice at the top of this at the moment, if I go here, we have three. We have user mode, customize controls, and then we have display customization. Now, there are some hidden things here. If we go across to, if we go to the middle one, and then start going down, you see LCD touch operation, touch AF. Now touch AF, I like to keep this on point, focus, shoot. This means that if there's something you want to take a photo of specifically, you can just frame up your shot and then just tap it with your finger on the back screen, and it's going to focus and shoot on that item. Okay, that's useful. The other thing just below that, now look, bear in mind you can't see this if you don't actually scroll down the menu, is this one called memory. Now memory, if we go across, this basically remembers what happens when you turn the camera off and on. So if you set the exposure compensation to something, when you turn the camera off and then back on again, it will keep that compensation applied. Now I don't like that. I'd rather have it off, because I typically apply the compensation when I need to for a specific shot, and afterwards I don't want it to be on all the time. Obviously, again, this is a personal thing. Guys, that pretty much concludes the setup for this preset. So just go across from the customize settings to the user mode, and then you can go in and you can save
the settings here. As you can see, all my 6 boxes are full with various things. So yeah, find an empty slot, an empty box, and then save the preset into there and give it the name you want. I obviously use the Night Owl. You can call it whatever you like. If you don't know how to save presets and how to use presets, I'll link a video now on screen so you can go to that to learn exactly how this stuff works. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget, leave a like and a subscribe. And if you have any questions, put them in the comments below and I'll be happy to answer them. See you in the next video. Bye bye.